today we're having my dear friend, local Amber Champagne Matos, the owner and founder of Brows on Maine. Believes in doing what you love, now what you once loved. Amber is a licensed esthetician, skincare entrepreneur, and former US educator for Benefit Cosmetics. Welcome, Amber. Welcome. And I'm so excited to have you with us.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be with you.
Awesome. I would love to hear your purpose. I mean, you are so on purpose, and I've been so excited to interview you. So tell us, how did you start it? How did you become a beauty goddess?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I became an esthetician almost a decade ago. I actually ended up getting cystic acne after I had my first son, and I could not figure out what to do with my skin. I never had problems with my skin growing up. It was always like a million other problems, but not that. I didn't know what to do. I was trying to find solutions. Nothing was happening. And I'm just like the kind of person where I'm like, okay, then I'll just go do it myself. So I became an esthetician so I could figure out my own skin initially. And then I just became so obsessed with the idea of women as they get older and they're dealing with breakouts, but then they're also dealing with aging. Like, how do you take care of all of that? And there's just not that many solutions out there on the market that are really targeted for that group, which is super unfortunate because you're talking women in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s. That's a long period of time not to have really great targeted solutions for you. Yeah, so I just like really got super absorbed in all of that. I was researching it even as I was like working at Benefit. I was always researching on the side, like the skincare world and what was going on with those things. And I learned so much working with Benefit about the industry as a whole and just what was really going on within all of those like big cosmetics companies and stuff, and really just soaked it all in. And yeah, and I just was like, okay, once I was done working for Benefit, I got to a point, first of all, I ended up getting pregnant with my second son. And unfortunately, I lost my second son when I was 6 months pregnant. And I had left Benefit already at that time because I knew I wouldn't be able to travel with an infant. And I was traveling all over the country, training thousands of estheticians and doing all kinds of like amazing content writing and whatnot for the company as a whole. So it was a big job. It was a fun job, but it was a big job. And I just knew I wouldn't be able to do it with an infant. Unfortunately, I ended up losing my son, and I was already at another job. I was the head of culture and education at a tech company, and I just didn't love it. Like I was still doing the education, I was still helping people, but I didn't love what I was doing. And that is not like me to be in a position where I am not absolutely in love with something. So just realizing after all of that, how precious and short life is, I was like ready to go out on my own and do something else. And that's how I ended up opening my business. And now a year later, my gosh, I'm online beauty blog, online beauty shop, in-person beauty brown skin studio, working on a skincare line, just became a best-selling author. Seriously, like so much crazy, thank you. Yeah, so much crazy stuff in the last year. It's been intense, but really fun.
That is amazing. Congrats with your best-selling author.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome. My book is also coming up in December in a week already to
Oh,
also.
yay.
Yeah, and I think we were chatting with you about it. I'm so super excited for you. Send me the link. Definitely we will include the link. And what is the number one mistake that you wish you could have avoided once you started the business? Because it seems like you had a few. So you probably had a good one.
Yeah, it's funny. So the first thing I always say is to remember that it's okay to change, right? Because I think a lot of times people get into things, especially business, and they have an idea about what they want to do. For me, it was I'm going to open up a brow and skin studio. And I was fine with that was the thought. But had I not been okay with change and embracing like what was coming my way, I would have missed out on so many opportunities just in the last year alone. Actually, in my book, it says I write my dreams in pencil, not because they can be erased, but because they can always be revised. And I really, truly believe that. I really think that if you go into something, just first and foremost, know that it's okay to change and be okay with that and embrace that. I think when I first started, I don't know. I don't think that there would be anything like from a business perspective that I would say, I wish I really knew that. I think business is a journey. And a lot of times when you're in business or you're trying to get into business, people want the answers. They want you to tell them everything, exactly what to do. What's the plan? Like, how do I make it from A to Z?
It's like step by step. Give me the steps to follow.
Tell me. I'll talk to people online and they'll ask me about a platform or something. What platform are you using for e-commerce? And I'll be like, oh, this is a great one. Tell me all about it. Well, go research it. And not like in a mean way, but like in a way where I want to empower you and encourage you to understand and know things for yourself. And that's where
answer your own questions. If you
Exactly.
can't answer your own question, like it's not a job for you to be an entrepreneur.
100%. And that's where I think all those mistakes, quote unquote, actually help you to become a better business person. So I don't know that there's something that I wish I would have known. Maybe I think that if anything, I think I would have thought that right off the bat, where it's like in the beginning, I was a little bit like, what's the right answer? And now I realize there is no right answer for everybody. It's the right answer for you.
Absolutely. I love that. I just love that. Okay. So what will be the number one tip that you can give to the audience that is just starting out or growing a business?
My number one tip would be exactly what I said about embracing opportunity. Honestly, it's so funny. That quote came to me a while ago before I even started my business. And I wrote it down. I told my husband at the time, I said, that is going to be something important for me. And I wrote it down because I said it and I was like, did someone else say that? That sounds like a quote. Who said that? And I looked it up and I researched it and I was like trying to find it. It was nowhere. It was just something that was given to me as like a special little nugget. And I knew that it was going to be important. And as things started rolling, I realized, yeah, you think that it's going to go one way and it could go a million different ways, and it's okay. Let it happen, because if you try to box yourself in too much, you're going to end up not loving what you're doing, which I can't get behind, first and foremost. And secondly, you're going to end up in a spot where you could have gotten to a place where it's so much more, but you allowed yourself to stay stagnant. And I just don't think that that's the greatest thing to do.
Yep. I love that. All right. And the last bonus question that we have here in 1 minute. If you really knew me, you will know that blank. And that is your answer. I see you love that.
Yeah, I do.
Love that question.
You know what? If you really knew me, you would know that I have the utmost of integrity. I am very transparent and I like to tell it like it is and really truly help people without sugarcoating anything. I will never, ever, I'm not the person that will ever sell you something or a service or a product or whatever if I don't think it's actually going to make a huge difference in your life. I really, truly believe that being of like the highest integrity is so important. So if you knew me, you would know that is really important to me, and that's who I am.
I love that. Integrity is my number one value too. That's why we're getting along together.
Yeah, that's why we do
awesome. All right. Thank you so much. How people can find you, how they can find such a beautiful being online.
Oh, girl, online, I am at Browse on Main everywhere. So Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, it's just at Browse on Main. You can find me. My website is browseonmain.com. And I even have a Facebook group called the Skincare Insider, but it has a little tag and it says brought to you by at Browse on Main. So awesome. I'm pretty easy to find.
I love it. Thank you. And it's been a wonderful chatting with you. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, of course. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. If you love this podcast, please make sure to rate, subscribe, and review it. And of course, you can get in touch with me everywhere online at purposefulday.com. And I can't wait to see you next time. Kisses!